Enter our next animal to the spotlight, ready for the challenge. They're the bouncy, furry icon of Australia. They appear on coins, airplanes, and flags. But they're not called the boxing kangaroo for no reason. This powerful marsupial is nature's kickboxing champion and can be one tough competitor if you find yourself going head-to-head.
It was just total fear. I had no comprehension of how to stop him, what to do. It was just, how do I stop this thing? It was just total fear.
Philip Healy has been marathon training around the same idyllic 24-kilometer track for the past 20 years. Having seen hundreds of kangaroos in the past, he never once thought they could pose a threat. But one foggy and frosty Father's Day morning, this was all about to change.
It's about 20 k's into the run, minding my own business. Then I heard something coming down behind me. And when I've looked across to the fence, it was a kangaroo. As he looked at me, he grunted at me.
This was going to turn from nice to nasty in a matter of seconds.
He jumped across the road in front of me and stopped in front of me. I knew at that point he was going to attack me.
He's a vegetarian, so in essence he is afraid of us not wanting to attack. But the real terms come in where we are animal. The dominance of the male comes in with the man. And he's going to prove his dominance, not trying to kill us, but trying to use his strength.
Anticipating the worst, Philip stopped dead in his tracks. Having never seen a kangaroo behave like this, Philip was on edge and starting to panic.
I looked around for a tree or a stick to fend him off with, and there was nothing there.
He ran to the nearest tree in a desperate bid to protect himself from the advances of the kangaroo.
I ran around the tree a couple of times with him chasing me, and then he bowled me over.
Pinned to the ground by a 6-foot eastern grey kangaroo.
I really felt I was about to die.
There are 55 kangaroo species spread across Australia. The red kangaroo is the largest marsupial in the world, and the eastern grey is the heaviest. Some will grow taller than a human adult and can weigh up to 100 kilograms. Kangaroos can swim, walk, and hop. Hopping is the main way of locomotion with an average hopping speed of 25 kilometers per hour. In short bursts, they can travel as fast as a racehorse, and some roos can jump up to 3 times their own height. These marsupials breed all year round, with birth rates peaking in the summer months. A baby roo, called Joey, will climb into its mother's pouch while relatively undeveloped and call the pouch home for almost a year. They're highly social animals and live in mobs led by the dominant male. Bucks are fiercely competitive over females. The males box each other to establish dominance, and with dominance comes the right to father most of the next generation. As urban areas move in on kangaroo habitat, people regularly come into contact with them. And sometimes, male kangaroos can confuse who they're trying to dominate.
So we get things like the male kangaroo when he's been hand-reared and put back in the wild. He's not afraid of human.
David Thorne has been raising kangaroos at the Caversham Wildlife Park in Western Australia for 26 years. While all kangaroos at the park are used to human interaction, David separates the dominant males away from the rest of the pack. This makes for a very friendly mob of kangaroos, often encouraging a good scratch from the tourists. In the wild, kangaroos are largely peaceful animals that will first stare, then flee upon human contact. But despite this gentle appearance, they are formidable fighters. A kangaroo will attack a person as if they are another kangaroo. It can swipe at you with clawed hands or sit on its tail and strike out with its hind legs. The resulting injuries can be serious, even life-threatening. For Philip, this skilled fighter came out of nowhere, a rude surprise when he was running low of energy.
I was 20 k's into a 36k run, so I was pretty exhausted when he had me on the ground. It was very hard to keep going. I really feared for my life.
With foot claws sharp enough to slice open a human abdomen, your best bet is to make yourself as small as possible, crouch low, and cover your neck and head for protection.
I was screaming my head off, just about to give up, but I was exhausted at the time. And then all of a sudden he just turned his head, looked the other way, and then hopped back up the hill. It's amazing.
All alone and miles from his car, Philip had no choice but to walk back to safety, fearing his fierce opponent could come bounding back at any moment.
I came across another guy, and when he had one look at me, he started to panic and thought I was in a lot of trouble with the blood everywhere.
Looking like he'd just been in a full-on brawl, Philip arrived at hospital covered in cuts, scratches, and blood. He spent 3 days in hospital, requiring surgery to his shattered finger and antibiotics to defend from infection in his countless wounds. While a fist-to-claw fight with a kangaroo is no walk in the park, there have been few recorded deaths from kangaroo attack. Despite the scars and trauma, Philip still loves his national icon.
Weird, a lot of people ask me how I feel about the kangaroo, and I think it's just it is still our best animal. I actually love them. I might be a bit more wary of them now, but I still think they're a fantastic animal.
These vegetarian hoppers are more likely to bounce away than try to challenge you in the ring, but best to err on the side of caution and admire them from afar.